Welcome back, Santa Clarita. We're on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, for the Neighborhood Watch. You're dancing like your white guy dancing made me start white guy dancing, and then I looked over at Philip, and there was a lot of judgment in our studio engineer. Let me just tell you. Oh, that was ugly. It's a good thing we just keep the music to like 10 and 15-second bursts in the studio. We're doing Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station, crime prevention outreach, law enforcement action, and what's going on in your community. And we were just talking about the crime prevention unit and some of the outreach they do. And so speaking of outreach, one of the NIXL reports that we got from the Sheriff's Department was about a prison education program, and we just want to mention that because it's a positive thing that the sheriff is trying to do for these inmates in incarceration to kind of get them back on the right track. And basically it's called education-based incarceration, and they're graduating class at Pitches Detention Center tomorrow. There's going to be 36 inmates participating, ranging from 20 to 46 years old, and 7 inmate students graduating who are participating in a DOJ Back on Track program. So I'd imagine there's some federal dollars involved with that. But again, good partnership. And the graduates completed high school courses, including U.S. history, English composition, algebra, biology, science, social studies, and other areas to meet California state standards. With the vision of Sheriff McDonald, empowering environment conducive to learning and self-retrospection. So, good thing there. And again, the positive programs that the Sheriff's Department doing, you can find out about that and what's going on in your community by typing NIXL Santa Clarita into your browser, and you can get the reports straight from the Sheriff's Department, homicide, robbery, Saugus, anywhere. Basically, they're all personalized. And some of them are even written by Deputy Kevin Duxbury. It's true. You spend, hours each night compiling those
greatest
reports.
Work.
Your coup whatever. All right, and going on, we've talked a little bit about outreach. Let's talk about safety in the community. I want to talk about bike safety. Deputy Kevin Duxbury, you know a lot about bike safety. You grew up around bikes, and you were just giving me some insight on, because I kind of sprung some breaking news on you about the lane splitting law for motorcycles. Motorcycle riders can now legally sanctioned lane splitting, and you were giving me a little bit of 411 about that, and you've apparently since then, you were telling me you've learned some new stuff.
Yeah, I did some research on that because it kind of surprised me. But basically the way the law is written is that motorcycles can, and before it wasn't in writing, so it wasn't legal, but it wasn't illegal. So now they've put it in writing and it's legal, and basically what the law is saying is that motorcycles can lane split, which means go between cars in traffic.
Now, are they restricted to, I believe it was like 15 miles an hour faster than traffic?
From what I read was if traffic is traveling under 40 miles an hour, you can lane split. Okay, but it's got to be under 40, and you can travel 15 miles an hour faster than traffic is going. Okay. Again, my personal belief, you'll never see me doing it. I just don't think it's safe. But some of the reasons behind it, one of the reasons was they think that it's safer for the motorcycle not to be waiting in bumper-to-bumper traffic because there's the chance that they could get rear-ended because of their narrow silhouette. They don't show as much.
Visibility's definitely
an issue. And getting
right?
Rear-ended on a motorcycle is usually a little bit worse than getting rear-ended in a car.
Right.
So, for that, I can understand reason. Another reason they came up with was more of the mechanics of it, because a lot of motorcycles are air-cooled. And when you're stuck in traffic in 110-degree heat with all that heat coming off the asphalt, the bikes can overheat and have mechanical failures. So in that case, you got to keep the bike rolling to keep the engine cool.
Now, you were saying that most of the bikes are water-cooled, but
there are a lot of brands out there that are water-cooled. There are a lot of brands that are not. Harley-Davidson is mostly known for their air-cool engines, with the exception of the V-Rod. And the two newest bikes they've made, which is a 500cc and a 650cc, those are water-cooled, but most of their stuff
getting
is
a little too technical for me there.
Sorry.
My eyes are starting to glaze over when you go to CCs.
But a lot of the metric bikes, you're talking about Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda. Some of their models are water-cooled, some are air-cooled. It depends. Norton and Triumph, they tend to be more air-cooled bikes than water-cooled. So, yeah, there's a lot of variety out there.
But that's good to know if you're a rider, because you're saying the water-cooled tend to overheat less or more?
Less, because they are water-cooled. It's like a regular car.
Okay, so something to keep in mind, that might be a safer option for you to stay as opposed to lane split if you don't have the air-cooled, or if you do have the air-cooled bike. So that's good to know. And then anything else as far as just like motor safety, driver safety?
It is summer, and the bikes are coming out again. So as a motorist, just take the extra time to really check your rearview mirrors before you're changing lanes or before you're making turns, and just keep a good eye out for the bikes, because they tend to, even when they are riding within the laws and the speed limits, they can still pop up on you pretty quick.
All right. And we'll get to the love ride a little bit later in the show, and you can talk about that and your past experience. But I want to talk about fireworks safety also, as we'll probably carry this into the next segment. But this is an issue that we can't talk about enough, because every year we hear dozens of people that just get upset about fireworks in their neighborhood. And so, you guys do as much as you can, obviously, but there's only so many deputies in 600 square miles and 280,000 people. So you do the best you can, but what can we talk to people about as far as avoiding some of the common pitfalls? When should people contact you guys about the fireworks? When should people have concerns? Is it, if you know somebody has fireworks, should you find out ahead of time? If you see a stockpile in your neighbor's backyard, do you want to give the deputies a heads up? What do you encourage there?
What it comes down to is fireworks in Santa Clarita, whether they're safe or sane, they're all illegal in Santa Clarita. We're in an extreme drought right now. We have a very high fire hazard. We appreciate tips. If you think a neighbor's got a stockpile and they're bragging about how they're going to, set all these things off on the 4th of July, there's nothing wrong with giving us a call and giving us a heads up, and we'll make a point to try and keep that on the radar. Right. Okay.
And so would that be something that, again, like with the crime prevention unit, you could pass that to, like, hey, I got this tip about something going on in Valencia.
Exactly. And we could even narrow it down to that specific zone, so the zone leader would know about it.
What is it like? Have you guys both patrolled on July 4th? Have you had to handle that kind of situation?
It's extremely busy.
What's that like?
It's a
Are
party.
you just going call to call on parties, or?
Pretty much.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's our station averages between 350 to 400 calls a shift a day.
And that's on a normal day. That's
24-hour period. Okay. On the 4th of July, I've seen it get up to 650.
Wow.
We get a lot of calls, and it's
comparable to New Year's or more than New Year's? Closer to Labor Day?
I'd say, in my experience, 4th of July, we get hammered with the calls for the fireworks, because people do call them in. New Year's, we get a lot of the party calls. And we get some fireworks. We get a lot of discharging firearms, which is
obviously
scary.
Not the brightest thing to do.
No.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about fireworks safety. We've got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to the Santa Clarita Valley Neighborhood Watch, where twice a month we talk about Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station outreach, crime prevention, and what's going on in your community. We have two deputies in the studio with me today, Deputy Kevin Duxbury, Deputy Betsy Shackelford. Thank you again for coming. We have a little bit of lesson on fireworks safety, because Deputy Kevin Duxbury, you have some statistics that are pretty eye-opening as far as just what goes on July 4th because of the fireworks, which are, again, illegal in LA County, but we have a few local shows if people do want to watch the fireworks. You can't set them off yourself unless you have the permits, but which I can't imagine you could get. But let's just say that there are options. There are safe and legal options for fireworks shows. If you drive to, like, really, with so many hills and mountains around here, if you drive up, you can see them from. There's a few spots where you can see all three fireworks shows in the valley. But you have some numbers, Kevin, hopefully this hits home on just how unsafe it is. Can you give us some of those?
I would like that, because, again, we've mentioned this before. Our city, between Stevenson Ranch, Magic Mountain, and the Westfield Mall, has 3 professional fireworks shows that are just
They're pretty awesome every year, yeah.
And, we close a lot of the streets so that people can sit on the street around the mall and all over the city so that you can watch these. And, yeah, we offer you a great alternative, since we're outlawing everything else, which, again, is for the safety of the community.
But we've been really blessed as far as season 2, knock on wood.
I know.
So let's keep it up.
But yeah, I'm looking at these fireworks numbers, and it says in 2011, fireworks caused an estimated 17,800 reported fires, including 1,200 total structure fires, 400 vehicle fires, and 16,300 outside and other fires. These fires resulted in an estimated of 8 reported civilian deaths, 40 civilian injuries, and $32 million in property damage. That's pretty significant. It says in 2012, U.S. hospital emergency rooms treated an estimated 8,700 people for fireworks-related injuries. 55% of 2012 emergency room firework related injuries were to the extremities and 31% to the head.
And let's be clear, if you do get injured by a firework, it's not generally like something minor or like a grazing. It's a firework with gunpowder.
If something goes wrong with a firework, it's usually bad.
It's not good.
The risk of firework injuries was the highest for young people ages 15 to 24, followed by children under 10. How bad would you feel if your 10-year-old got a bottle rocket in the eye?
And you talk about that. That's actually the very first firework safety tip, because you're out there celebrating with your family. You know, mom or dad sets up the firework and something goes off, and then obviously, if you're not a trained professional, things can go wrong pretty quick.
Right.
And we have some fire safety tips. If you can give some of those to us.
That's firework safety tips says never allow young children to play with or ignite fireworks.
That one seems obvious, but seriously, the kid's asking, you want to just be the cool guy.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Well, what are you going to do? Avoid buying fireworks that are packaged in brown paper, because this is often a sign that the fireworks were made for professional displays and that they could pose a danger to consumers. So if it's not
that would obviously be if you're going to take
wrapping,
fireworks somewhere else, out of LA County.
Always have adult supervised firework activities. Never place any part of your body directly over a firework device. You'd think that would be self-explanatory, wouldn't you?
They have to put it down there, obviously. It's been an issue.
So.
I mean, they don't put it down there unless it's happened.
All right. Never try to relight or pick up a firework that is not ignited fully.
I have seen that go wrong.
Yeah, give it a little tap, maybe it'll go off.
You see it, and then it happens.
It's not a model train.
Exactly.
Never point or throw fireworks at another person. Keep a bucket of water or a garden hose handy in case of a fire or other mishap. Now, in Santa Clarita, you shouldn't have that problem, right?
Again, people don't realize this. Well, what about a sparkler? What about a snake that you put on the ground?
If you can light it, it's illegal in Santa Clarita, okay?
Good to know.
Light fireworks one at a time.
Philip.
Never carry fireworks in a pocket or shoot them off in metal or glass containers.
Again, a lot of this just seems in the common sense realm, but we wouldn't have to say it if it didn't happen.
Yeah. After fireworks completed their burning, douse the spent device with plenty of water from a bucket or hose before discarding it to prevent a trash fire.
Again, not really a Santa Clarita Valley issue, because nobody's going to be doing
fireworks. Shouldn't be Santa
Clarita Valley on July 4th, obviously.
And make sure fireworks are legal in your area before buying or using them.
Valid. They're pretty tough to buy, I would imagine, in Santa Clarita, because they're outlawed in LA County, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, but we've got so many neighboring counties that do sell fireworks,
and it's $1 billion industry. So obviously they are.
I think most people, when they see a fireworks display, say in Ventura, they probably don't know that they're illegal in LA County.
That's the other thing. You can drive down the 126 on your way home from work, and if you don't know, then you would buy the fireworks. But that's why we put out the message.
That's why we're trying to get it out there.
Any cost. So Philip and his buddies don't go shooting fireworks off all over like they're going to. There's a smile on his face, tells me he's already got a plan. He's already got a plan in place. All right, well, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the upcoming events, because I know you want to talk a little bit about the Love Ride, because you've been to that before, and the Touch a Truck ride, Touch a Truck event, because you're going to that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you've got a little setup and display, and you're going to talk about that. Great event. Everybody gets involved, and it's for the Senior Center. So we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.